Welcome to sportsbookreview.com. I'm Flash. It's Premier League and it's week 34. There's just 5 games to go. We know who the champions are. We know who's going to come second, but the race for the top 4 is firmly hotting up. The bottom 3 for me look like they are down, but there's sides that are still needing points to make sure they're saved. Now, if you like this video, then please subscribe, press the button and ring the bell. Ring the bell means I notify you and you'll never miss any content again. So that means if you've rung the bell, I'll let you know that there's a massive Kentucky Derby show this afternoon with Blackjack Fletcher and Daniel Moyne. Really looking forward to discussing things with the king and queen of the American race circuit. I've got Matt and I've got Martin with me. Martin, there's some value this week if you're brave enough to press the button.
Yeah, I've found lots of value. It's one thing finding value on paper, and another thing the bet's actually paying off. But there's some really enticing opportunities there. I've found a number of bets that I like the look of that do pay pretty good. Yeah, let's see how it unfolds.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've got probably the biggest game in England throughout the last 50 years. It's always Man United versus Liverpool. Liverpool normally at the very, very top, but they're desperate for points. Man United are in the middle of a semi-final 2-legged tie against Roma. So are your boys going to actually turn up and do a job here, Matt?
We're going to see. I mean, they definitely have an advantage with, United playing in the semifinal, but it's going to be one of those where United have the opportunity really to knock out Liverpool out of the top 4 race and kind of pay back what they've been beaten over the past few seasons by Liverpool. So, yeah, it's very exciting. I'm happy to break these matches down with you as always. And I've got my 49ers jersey on today, though, stateside here. Big pick number 3 here. I'm hoping it's Fields, but it's probably not going to be. But in Kyle Shanahan, I trust no matter what.
Well, Will Brinson reckons it's definitely going to be Fields. Absolutely magnificent last year in the championship game. Anybody else? Well, listen, it's got to be. It's got to be him. Okay, let's kick off. Martin, Southampton, the Mighty Saints, plus 240, draw plus 300, Leicester plus 110. Or you can get plus 100, and that's exactly where I went. I went Leicester, don't complicate it.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to retire that mighty moniker, Flash. They are not mighty at all anymore, the Saints. They have the second worst defensive record in the Premier League this
season. They're
season.
awful at the back. Awful.
They've conceded more goals than Sheffield United. Only West Brom have conceded more. They've been so sloppy. Obviously, Danny Ings has been out as well, which has deprived them of their main goal threat. Matt made a good point the other week. They're missing Romeo in midfield, who is a real good holding midfielder who protects that back 4. They're looking exposed. I think against the fired-up Leicester side, they're going to struggle in this one. Iheanacho is just on fire now. 12 goals in 9 games. That's put the pressure on Jamie Vardy to try and, match his exploits. The problem is you can't focus all your attention on Iheanacho because then Vardy and Maddison will just rip you apart. Leicester still need points. They still need to sew up a place in the top 4 ahead of their cup final. Southampton, they're not going to go down. I think they're just sort of coasting to the end of the season now. So much greater impetus for Leicester to go and win this game. And I've gone for the away side. They've got a very good record against Southampton recently.
They have, especially at St Mary's. Matt, do we see both teams scoring and then that brings in the Alex Classic?
I'm just not going to complicate it. I'm right there with you guys. I think that this is a Leicester train. I think this is the best bet of the week. I was able to grab it on Monday, right when I looked at my book, and I was like, wow, I can still get Leicester City at a draw no bet here at minus 150. It's risen from there. Now you're finding in the minus 190s, minus 200s, but I mean, I think it's a fantastic parlay piece, but I've hit it. It's a banker for me here. I think that Leicester City might be better at every single position. I've been watching them recently, and they're just so solid at the back right now. And with Maddison, Vardy, like Martin touched on with Iheanacho just being in brilliant form. They just beat them in the Cup a few weeks ago. They've won 3 out of 4 against Southampton, including a 9-0 thrashing. I don't see how the Foxes get beat here. So this is banker material for me.
Banker material, them little stars that we don't see very, very often. Okay, moving on then. It's Palace plus 1100, draw plus 450, Man City minus 300. In the middle of two semi-finals against PSG, Man City cup final last week. Are they going to be leggy? And are Palace going to show up any resistance, Matt?
So I don't think they're going to be extremely leggy because they are going to rest and rotate here. It's going to be, Fernandinho coming back into the side. He played in the cup, so he has a full week of rest. Sterling will probably get the nod here. You could see the likes of Jesus or Aguero playing a normal number 9 here. I think that the best bet here is to just go back to the well and go back to what's been working all season. Manchester City and under 3.5 goals at 2.05 or plus 105. I think that's the best way to look at this one.
Wow. What about Palace going 1-0 up last week? Give everyone a big scare. They missed an unbelievable opportunity to go back in front early on in the second half, and then they paid the highest price, Martin, and they end up losing the game and come away with nothing.
Yeah, but in the end, I actually thought the scoreline flattered Crystal Palace. I was on Leicester to win the game, so I was pleased to see the result. And yeah, watching it, I just think they just lacked energy. They lacked conviction. They had hardly any possession. Wilfried Zaha seems like the only one who can be bothered to play for them right now. And that's only because he's trying to put himself in the shop window to move to a bigger club in the summer. No movement on a new contract for Roy Hodgson yet. They're another team like Southampton. They're just drifting towards the end of the season. They're not going to go down. They're not going to make it into the European places. They've got no motivation, apart from, as I said, Zaha. Whereas, Man City could win the Premier League title if they win this game. If they win this and then Liverpool beat Man United, that's it, all over, which would be a great position to be in going into that second leg against PSG, knowing you don't have anything else to worry about apart from the Champions League for the rest of the season. Matt mentioned it. Raheem Sterling, Gabriel Jesus, Sergio Aguero, Ferran Torres, Aymeric Laporte, Nathan Ake, Fernandinho, and Benjamin Mendy can all come into the side. None of them started against PSG, and that's a terrific second string to put out. Enough to crush Crystal Palace for me. They beat them 4-0 earlier in the season, and the likes of Sterling and Jesus have got a point to prove. They'll be keen to impress Guardiola, and I think they'll pull it off. So I've actually gone for Man City to win and over 2.5 goals. So hopefully they win 3-0 and both of our bets pay off.
Yeah, I don't think there's another team in the Premier League that have suffered the no crowds more than Crystal Palace, because obviously no one likes to go there. It's the hardest place to get to. And then when you do go there, it's very partisan. Let's move on, because I see value and I see it in abundance here, Martin. Brighton plus 140, draw plus 245, and Leeds at plus 235. Brighton, and now they may be just looking over their shoulder a little bit, but the bottom three teams, they seem cut away.
Yeah, it's going to take a miracle for Fulham to stay up now, which is kind of handy for Brighton because they've underwhelmed all season with some good performances. They just haven't got the results that they should have done. Poor finishing, sloppy defending, and losing 1-0 to Sheffield United last time out is just criminal, when Sheffield United have been in such dismal form and a rock bottom of the table. That was there for the taking for Brighton, and once again they barely showed up. Very disappointing. I think, I don't know what's going to happen in this game though. Leeds have been very good recently. Brighton have got more to play for. Big game for Ben White going up against his old team. No idea what could happen in this one, Flash. I'm passing it.
Okay, I've gone with a value, Matt. I've gone with Leeds to win at plus 240 I got. And then I look around and most of the books at best are now 235. So I've gone with Leeds, and I've gone with Leeds because I fancy they've got more goals from more positions.
Yes, I mean, I think that you guys make some really good points here. I'm in the Leeds camp with you, Flash, if I had to be. I think that Leeds on the double chance. And then I just look at Brighton on how many matches this season they've drawn. I think maybe the biggest price here, I think that the draw is definitely in play here. Leeds have flattered recently. Brighton, I just, you can't figure this team out, and they're very fortunate. I think Brighton are very lucky this year that the bottom three played as poorly as they did, because I think in prior seasons, they wouldn't be so fortunate to still be staying up in the Premiership, because, I mean, they've done well in terms of XG numbers and creation, but just the clinical finishing has never been there all season. And it's really a shame, because they can play some really open and attractive football. I think that double chance here with Leeds looks pretty darn good, and the draw, that's where I would go here if I had to.
Yeah, I mean, the way that Brighton play, they've been like a top 10 side, but they're just not finished teams off when they've had the opportunities, and they've spent plenty of money on players creating. They've got to go out and get someone who's going to get you them 20 goals a season. You get 20 goals, and this could be a top 10 side. Obviously, they're going to get away with it this year, so hopefully that they will come back next year. And they're always underrated, apart from last week when they were like minus 140. But the books always give you value and a chance if you're a fan. Now, this next game, we're going to it's like Southwest London derby. It's Chelsea minus 210, draw plus 350. And Fulham at plus 775. Matt, I was really, really close to going with Fulham double chance. It's a local derby. Chelsea got Real Madrid midweek. I'm just seeing that maybe this is a really tight unders game and draw half time.
I like that. Everything that you just mentioned, I completely agree with it. Draw half time, unders, Fulham. I looked at it. It's just, I couldn't get good value on a plus 1.5, and that was my issue. Maybe I was a little bit late to the party to look at it, but it's just, you can get plus 1.25 at around minus 125. I think that suits Fulham fine here. I think that this is going to be tight. Chelsea will rest and rotate. All the players, or most of them that played against Real Madrid, will be sitting here, and they have some depth of their own. So I can still see Chelsea nicking this one, but I think that unders, halftime draw, Fulham on the double chance or plus one looks pretty good. I think that's the way to go.
Goals at a premium, tight game, Martin. Looking at maybe 0-0. I can't see where's it going to come from, because I think Fulham, this is their biggest game of the season. If the fans were there, geez, they'd take the roof off.
Yeah, Chelsea won 1-0 when they met last time. I can see a similar result this time around. I think Chelsea will have just about enough quality to grind out a narrow victory. It's a huge, huge game for both teams. West London derby, so it's always tinged with something extra. But yeah, Fulham, if they lose this, they're pretty much down. They need a great escape anyway. They need a miracle. But Chelsea, they're up to fourth, but they can't afford to be complacent now. They're only 3 points clear of West Ham. I think it's only 5 ahead of Spurs, 4 ahead of Liverpool. So they need to keep winning, regardless of this semi-final second leg around the corner. I also expect him to rotate. I can see Pulisic sitting it out. But, once again, Reece James, Kai Havertz, Hakim Ziyech, Kurt Zuma, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Tammy Abraham, Olivier Giroud, Marcus Alonso. None of these players played. They can all come into the team. They're all good enough to beat Fulham. Let's not forget, this is a Fulham team that's winless in 5 games. When they've really had to step up to the plate, they haven't been able to turn it on. And Chelsea are just as motivated as Fulham to win this game. So I think they will be able to get the job done. And yeah, I'll go for Chelsea to win to 0 at plus 110. I've gone for Chelsea in under 3.5 goals, I think, as my official tip. But yeah, a low scoring Chelsea victory for me.
Okay, no worries at all. Now, this next game, if you fancy or want to go against sides that have got long trips and then another long trip, and maybe their eye on only one ball, then it's Newcastle plus 340, draw plus 280, and you've got Arsenal at minus 105. Martin, you're the Arsenal man. You go and play against Villarreal, which is going to be tough, enduring, and then you've got to come back and travel all the way to Newcastle. Newcastle, one of them sides. Is this a draw, or is this a double chance for the home side?
Yeah, this is a really difficult game to call. Arsenal aren't really going to put a great deal of effort into it. You can't imagine. They've got the game tonight and then the second leg around the corner. So they're going to want to preserve their energy for that. Nothing left to play for in the league now. They're going to finish mid-table. I could see a similar game to what we saw against Fulham, where it ended 1-1. I mean, Arsenal still do have enough quality in their ranks to get a result at St James's Park when you consider how bad Newcastle have been for the majority of the season. I'm not sure if I don't think Joe Willock's allowed to play, is he? He's been their leading light for the last few weeks, scored a few winning goals, very crucial getting into the box at the right time. So they'll miss him, but St Maximan's back, so I think he'll give Arsenal's fullbacks the run around. I could see Newcastle getting a result here, but I would say it's a lineup check. See what state Arsenal are in when they come to play them.
Exactly, and see how they get on against Villarreal and see if they're still in the tie. And if they are, then I would definitely push people towards Newcastle double chance. And if you are brave, then just go Newcastle straight win, Matt.
Yes, I think that we will see Arsenal today, and that'll clear some things up for us. But I believe that all the values on the home side here. Last week I was on Newcastle plus 1 3/4. I know I was given the bench from the chairman, but I'm back here ready in the starting lineup, ready to go today. And I think that Newcastle, all the value is with them. I think that they're playing better. Martin makes a good point. Joe Willock has been phenomenal, really, over the last couple months for them, and their form is good. Their form is good. And I've just mentioned before, I just think, and like you mentioned, Flash, all eyes are on the Europa League for Arsenal here, and I think that Newcastle can scrape away and get something from this game. So I've gone with Newcastle on the double chance at minus 110.
Okay, well, now the biggest game in English football, I don't care who you are, it is this game. It's Man United at plus 185. Now, I have seen plus 200 in places this morning to shop around. Draw plus 255, Liverpool plus 145. Now, look at these games. 0-0, 0-0, 0-0 whenever Man United or Liverpool play against some of the top 6 sides. I think with Man United having obviously the trip to Roma next week, the desperation of Liverpool needing to get something out of this game, I'm going to go and buck the trend, Matt, and I've gone with the Alex Classic at plus 100, and I think there'll be goals. I'm not going with a 0-0. I'm going with an open game where Man United don't really care, other than it's Liverpool. And that means you have to have a focused mind.
Yeah, I do kind of think that bucking the trend here could be a good idea. It's Liverpool have to go for all three. I mean, so there's no way they're just sitting back and trying to grab a point here. And I've been watching them. I was on Newcastle last week. I was happy to cash that, but I was going to cash and have Liverpool win either way. And I was getting ready to just be extremely happy on that Saturday morning. And then Willock with the late equalizer really just stung me a bit and stung this Liverpool side. There's something that I've been noticing with Liverpool over the last month or so when it's the Kabak and Fabinho or Kabak and Phillips. They start out and they're fresh. They're like last year's Liverpool. They pass the ball, their movement's good, but for some reason in the second half when they have a lead, the finishing isn't there. Then they try to kind of pull what Jose Mourinho has been doing all season with Tottenham and protect a lead and not really go out and try and win the game and win by a margin. I think that Liverpool here with United's Roma fixtures, sandwiched, and this being sandwiched in between here, I think that Liverpool, their best chance is to jump on them early and often. Liverpool, draw no bet, first half. I think it's a pretty safe angle. I do not see them being down at the half. They've got to go all in here. I think they score a goal in the first half.
Okay, now we often think there's going to be goals, and if you're brave and then you say the old 0-0 or draw, Martin, but surely with Man United all in, now listen, Champions League sorted, now they want silverware, and they've got Roma, which is probably the easiest of the 3 sides on paper. I think we see a little mini classic here,
I hope so, as a neutral fan, as a viewer. But how many dull games have we seen between these two over recent years? 0-0 earlier this season. The last 4 games between them have seen under 2.5 goals. you get these huge build-ups. They do these like really dramatic montages on Sky Sports, and you get really fired up for it. Carragher's shouting and Neville's shouting, and then it's just a total damp squib. Like you just sort of see a midfield.
Cards could be an angle, you know, Martin.
Could be, yeah, it could be. If tempers are fired up, whether they've still got those characters that really sort of take the fight to one another, like the Man United and Liverpool teams of yesteryear, I'm not sure. If I was looking at it, yeah, I'd be looking at a low-scoring draw, but I can't find any value on this game. I'm passing it.
I've gone Alex Classic plus 100 or thereabouts. And the last game is Burnley plus 240. Boy, did they do a job on Wolves last week. The big, strong plus 240, draw plus 245. And West Ham at plus 120. No foot coming off the gas for West Ham. We expected goals last week. They get done 1-0 by Chelsea. Do they return to winning ways, Martin?
I think they do. I think they were very unfortunate against Chelsea. Chelsea are a very good team, but that red card for Balbuena was just an absolute joke. He kicks the ball and his own follow-through hits the guy's calf and he gets sent off for it. Absolutely ludicrous. And that really damaged their chances of getting a result out of the game. I think they'll bounce back. They've been terrific this season. Solid at the back. Excellent going forward ever since Lingard joined. They've got competition for places. They're quick. And I just can't see them switching off like Wolves did. I don't know what has happened to Wolves this season. They've lost that compact and that fast breakaway football that they had. Now they're just pretty poor team at the moment. I think West Ham are vastly superior. And I can't imagine David Moyes allowing Sean Dyche to get one over on him like Nuno Espirito Santos did last weekend. So I can just see a lot of value on West Ham here. In a straight game, I think they're the better team and I think they'll get an away win.
I think goals on both sides, though. I don't think anyone keeps a clean sheet here, though, Matt. So the Alex Classic is in play. And the thing is with Burnley, they're gutted that we're coming towards the end of the season because they're showing the best form they've showed probably in the last 18 months.
Absolutely. Last week, I kind of bucked the trend with the West Ham, both teams to score. I went unders just because of Chelsea's control and their dominance on defense, really, and it was such a big match. I thought it would be cagey. So this one here, though, I think it's both teams to score. I think that's the best angle here at minus 140. Burnley with that feeling of nothing to lose, really. You know, they're out there. They're just trying to go and play some more stylistic football than what we're accustomed to. And we know that West Ham can find the back of the net. They've been doing that regularly against sides like this specifically. They've struggled against the Big Six, but anyone else, they've really, dominated. So I think if you want to get West Ham on side, I think maybe at both teams to score and West Ham to win could be a nice big price. But I think that just BTTS at minus 135 looks pretty good here.
Yeah, I think both teams to score is the way to go. Maybe get a little bit of value on the old Alex Classic as well. Esteban, can we have a look at the official picks, please, sir? Here we go. Martin's picks, he's gone Leicester, minus 112. Look at that. He got 12% more than me. Man City to win and over 2.5 at plus 100. Chelsea to win and under 3.5 at plus 105. And West Ham at plus 130. He certainly got the value. Matt's picks. Leicester, draw no bet, minus 150. And it's a banker. Liverpool, first half, draw no bet, minus 135. And Newcastle plus 0.5 at minus 110. I've just gone Leicester plus 100. Leeds plus 240 and Man United Alex Classic at plus 100. Now, two-team parlay, please, gentlemen. Who are you putting forward, please, Matt?
Leicester, draw no bet. I think that's the best bet of the week. And if it does push, then we still have an opportunity to get some profit on the second one.
Okay, and who is the second one, please, Martin?
It's got to be...
It's got to be Man City.
Man City, yeah. Man City, what, an over? Man City,
yeah.
Over. Man City, an over, yeah.
Is that over 2.5, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, that's it then. It's a Leicester, draw no bet, and Man City to win, and over 2.5 goals. Now, if you like this video, then please subscribe, press the button, and ring the bell. Ring the bell means I'll notify you, and you'll never miss any content again. Tomorrow, 11:30 Eastern Time, Martin, and Paco from La Liga Lowdown will be here for La Liga. And listen, there's so much going on. We've got the NFL draft. Brilliant show yesterday with Donny, Kyle and Will Brinson. There's plenty to go on the Kentucky Derby this afternoon with myself, Danielle and Blackjack Fletcher. So enjoy the weekend. May all your bets be winners. But remember, we're always here to help. So you take care and I'll see you soon.